Thank you all for joining us today for another Ultimate Creative Chat. This time I have Dr. Jonica Rowland with us, and she is not a medical doctor, but she is a doctor who's going to be all up in your business. Dr. Rowland, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm excited.
Absolutely. Dr. Jonica Rowland is a finance consultant. She is a legacy planner, as well as an author and a keynote speaker. So today she's going to be talking to us about insurance and finance and how they coincide more than you would think. So thank you again for being here. Can you tell us a little more about who you are and what you do?
Yes, I'll be happy to. Well, I'm Dr. Jonica T. Rowland, and I am a doctor of business administration focusing on social impact initiatives, whereas community and business must come together to make society work, and as well as make the future better for our youth, because
Mhm.
they are going to be the ones to be in government, vote for our decisions when we're 80 and 90 years old.
That's
So
right.
we need to give them a fighting chance. So that's what the Social Impact Initiative comes from. I became a business and financial consultant along the way. Since 2005, I've seen much in the insurance industry. Business owners not having health insurance, disability insurance, life insurance, not planning for
Mhm.
succession, for retirements, for all types of risk. And
Mm.
then from there, I emerged into the consultant industry. My clients were turning 65. They want understanding other insurance agents or consultants. So I would end up having to spend explain their Medicare, their retirement. I just had to help them through it all. Okay,
Okay.
because no matter what someone think in regards to an insurance agency or an insurance agent being on every corner, there is still a shortage of us.
Okay.
And
Okay.
from there, that's how we end up staying with the life insurance. We
Mhm.
Many of us we've earned MBAs, then our doctorate. We become writers, consultants, public speakers. But when my clients ask was I'm going to still be their insurance agent, I say yes, because how can you have a business? How can you be retired? Um, how can we just live life without enough insurance?
Yes.
Insurance takes care of the risk. You pay a little less than what you would pay, elsewhere, and then you have a lot of insurance. You pay a little so the insurance can pay for the big risk and crises that may come later.
Awesome. Okay. So Dr. Rowland has JT Rowland Health and Wealth to speak with people who are business owners and otherwise, right? Just a layperson to get their finances and their insurance and all of that in order. And really, it sounds like what you do is a lot of educating on that as well. So that's what we're getting
Yes,
into today.
yes. Community educating. I was on the
Yes.
Lake County PTA Council and several other volunteer organizations, and former vice president of membership for the National Black MBA Association for our Raleigh-Durham chapter, and been on housing committees and different different committees and organizations. You get to reach out and meet so many people, and you're in the trenches. It's
Yeah.
just hearsay, research, what's learned in the books. It's about this lived experience that you have,
Mm.
interviewing others, being around others, seeing people hurt and pain, seeing what happens when you retire, or people not being able to pay their bills because of a crisis from health. So when you look at poverty, you look at poor health, okay, you just start thinking about, woo, what what does the next generation have to work with?
Mm,
And
really
so
good
I'm
question.
official JT, CEO and founder of JT Rowland Wholesome Health and Wealth. Okay. And then I do have an investment side on the JR concepts. Yes. And that's to really help people to expand their brain, start thinking about wealth and health, and then hopefully become a philanthropist or just a mentor, being able to give back. But
Mm,
most of all, taking care of your household, your business first, because charity begins at home,
that's right.
and just laying that foundation, because legacy planning begins now. It does not happen when people just die.
Mm. So
You
yeah,
start.
explain if you would that relationship between um our insurance policies and our legacy, um and not only our legacies but being able to use that here while we are still here. There's a
Yes,
benefit to insurance while you are alive.
yes, that's a big benefit while you are alive. And let's start with this story. Um, Farmers, minority parents having land and wealth, and it happens in other areas, okay, in other ethnic groups, but minorities. The
Hmm.
parents have land and wealth, okay, and then um, a lot of information was not disclosed to the children because we just want Johnny and Jill to have what we didn't have. We don't want them to have it hard, okay?
Hmm.
If something happens to the parent, okay? They passed away. I lost my mother when I was 10. She was murdered. And she was a nurse. She would have been a registered nurse then, classified as a registered nurse. Okay. So from there, they have land and houses. Okay. Even doctors, physicians, they
Hmm.
have this money and these offices, and no one's really stopped to think about finance. They just keep going, getting. Okay.
Yes.
Mom and dad are gone. Not adequate enough for life insurance. Okay. Then it's time to pay the taxes on these houses and lands and property. Okay. Because no one really thought to talk to an attorney. They might have thought
Hmm.
attorney for the closing. Okay. And they might have thought they had the right financial person or accountant, but a trust wasn't formed or anything like that. So everything is just public information, okay, because there was no protection there.
Right.
So then the taxes get behind. The land, the building, the houses are gone. The physician really didn't set it up for them to make sure the children could still operate the business. Okay. So when we start talking about finance and legacy, we're actually talking about succession planning. What's
Mm.
happening next? What will happen if I got sick?
Okay.
Okay. What will happen if I just passed away? Have I positioned my business? Have I positioned it where it would still generate income for my family to have?
Hmm.
Okay. Now, the next scenario, you got a ruthless business partner. The family chose not to be in the business. Okay.
Okay.
And then one of the partners passed away, and their family's like, woo, we're going to do this and that. It's our turn. Okay. And those partners, they was like, oh, yeah, because two is better than one. Two or three people operating the business better than one sometimes. So those partners are going to be like, yes, we got that insurance policy on Mr. Johnny. So let's see if we can buy his share out from the family. So then that's a key person insurance policy. So they'll take that policy and buy the deceased partners share the business from the family, so the family can go away and stop
Hmm.
dealing with the business. Okay.
Mm.
Then they have enough life insurance if they don't want to sell, and they know that the parent really want the business done a certain way and don't want it detoured. they can use that money and proceeds from the life insurance maybe to buy them out or get the
To buy
attorney
out
they
the partner.
want. Yes,
Okay.
get that attorney they want who's going to honor their best wishes. Okay. So when you go into business or contract or go sit in someone's office, don't think that attorney that's representing them is for you, right? But then yet you need money for your own attorney. Okay. So those remaining here, life insurance outside of business, individuals working that job, working that 9 to 5, and they can only get a certain amount of insurance, okay? And maybe it's just enough to bury, especially those retirees, insurance dip. So maybe it's just enough to bury someone, but the mortgage, the car payment, time for therapy. Don't forget therapy. That might need to be taken into hand. Little John for college, okay? Sue was promised many things. All right. Okay. Daddy said I can go on and be a doctor. He's gone now, and whatnot. So then that's where it comes into play, having an adequate amount enough insurance so that individuals, the children can go to college, life keep up with inflation. Maybe the spouse needs to take a leave of absence, not quit the job, but it's just time for us to realize that insurance is about love. L-O-V. Loving your loved ones. They still feel your love when you're gone. You didn't just leave them a bunch of bills and then they have to get on pills.
Yeah.
They just feel
Bills and pills.
love. Yeah, bills and pills. They'll feel your love, and that's the real deal. But anyway, and so I've been through grief quite a bit, so I rather laugh than cry. So the thing is positioning, setting ourselves up for wealth, the legacy. How do you want people to remember you? Most of all, how do you want your family to remember you?
This Ultimate Creative Chat is sponsored by Bella by Tina Foy.
The serum you've always wanted to try. The cleanser you've been dreaming of. The primer everyone's talking about are finally available. Get your glow on with Bella by Tina Foy. Skincare you love with values you believe in. Visit us at bellabytinafoy.com.
Back to the show.
Many people are retiring poor, okay? Because they did not know what to do with that 401k. When pensions stop, that create some poverty in certain areas, okay? And then from there, it's just like a bucket load dropped onto someone. We're no longer going to have pension. It's time for you to manage your own retirement, okay?
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. And then people are just saying what the youth would call, I don't say it much, their daily grind. Time has flown by. They did not speak to the financial advisor, the insurance agent. They did not decide to work on measures outside of the job so that they can have maybe some smart savings. And that's where the life insurance will come into play. A lot of people do not realize that, hi, I can have enough term insurance if something happens, it'll pay off the mortgage because I haven't accumulated enough 401k money or my pension so that my beneficiaries can be happy and satisfied. Okay. Oh, wow, the market is down. Ooh, I'm glad I got this whole life policy because I can use some of the cash value. We'll go over those terms in a few. I can use some of that cash value instead of pulling my money out of the market, which is low. Okay. And then I end up losing money on one end.
Right.
So all I'm saying is we go back to grandma and our parents and the other wise ones who said, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
There you
and
go.
That's why life insurance has a place in our lives. We have to look at what the policy entails. Sometimes there are riders on there that people did not understand. And by the way, it's so good to go back and look at your policies periodically in case
Mhm.
you got something, or sit with someone to help you review those plans. And so from there, you learn about the riders that are on the policy. So let's say most life insurance policies right now, most, not all. So it's important to go look. Don't say Jonica said you had this. Okay. Go back and look. It, many of the life insurance policies have a terminal illness benefit rider.
Mhm.
That's whereas if the doctor says that someone has 6 to 12 months to live, 6 to 12 months to live, they get to use the face amount of that insurance policy while living. All right.
Mm.
They may be able to go to Mexico or somewhere. We've all known someone who left the country or gone to another state and got healed. Okay. Some people
Mhm.
might need to go to the mountaintop and meditate and pray. Okay. And this gives you options. I won't say you because we hope none of this happened to us too soon.
Right.
This gives us options
Mhm.
to get alternative health care or pay for an experimental treatment that the insurance company won't pay for. Okay. Because your health insurance company is not going to pay for everything if it's not proven. And,
Mhm.
I'm so surprised now that Medicare is covering acupuncture. I'm not saying I'm going to the acupuncturist, but it's
Okay.
giving them options,
Yeah.
go to the chiropractor, go where you need to go to get healing. Okay. And
Right.
that's what life insurance can do. Imagine that person with a terminal illness and
Mhm.
their loved ones have to quit work to take care
Mhm.
of them. Their loved ones are missing out on that opportunity to save for their future.
Right.
Then they may be in the sandwich generation where they have children on one side, parents on the other, and then from there, with the children on one side, the parents on the other, they squeezed in, so they got to get little Johnny to the tutor or the football practice, okay, because they need activity, okay,
Yeah.
right. We're not tilling land like we used to, so we can.
Mhm.
So we just want to make sure we're taking care of health. So that's where that came from. So
Yes.
from there, the person in the middle can go back and look at their parents' policies to see if they have terminal illness riders on there. Okay.
Mhm.
Where they can, and it's not cash in, but put in a claim to use a portion of that policy. Okay. So imagine if the parent had a $250,000 portion, okay, policy,
Mhm.
and then someone used 50% of that to help them get the treatment they need, the in-home care they need, a nurse or a companion to drive them around to those appointments, and you still work, okay? Or
Right.
if you had to take off time from work, um, that can still help to pay your bills. If you have to move the parent in your home, no matter if someone's just using water, when you move someone in, it's creating a bill, okay?
Mhm.
And so if someone is using their terminal illness benefit rider, that's going to really help them. I have one or two, maybe three friends, okay, and customers who use the terminal illness benefit rider, okay,
Okay.
that helped along the way to pay some bills. They still have their insurance policy left, okay, a portion left for burial and whatnot. And so getting out of that mindset of just having enough for burial is very important. Um,
Mm.
some people may want that term policy to pay the mortgage off the home,
Yeah.
okay. And
So,
then you have your whole life, and that's when
mhm.
you can pull money out from there for retirement or to take bury someone else in case they don't have a policy. And what's your
Okay.
question? I
I was
apologize.
just gonna no, that's good. You rolling. I was just gonna say before we get into the whole life policies, what is it that um people need to know about getting these policies that there's more to insurance than having enough to be buried? For some
Yes.
reason, we don't think that we need um, money. We need to set aside money for a nurse or someone who can take us around and not put all that on our families. So they're running all around town and all,
Mhm.
their life is upended and they're not able to work or do, have a regular life because everything is on that one or maybe two people.
Mhm.
Um, are you seeing people start to understand that, or what are you seeing with the mindset around that right now?
Mhm. But with the mindset, we have to know that education is important. Education, being educated about the matter is important.
Oh yeah.
Having knowledge about the matter is important. But the thing is about application.
Mm.
Everyone has to get out of that mindset that someday, one day, I'm going to do it. And the next thing you know, 20 years are gone by, or loved one, or even the individual have become, diseased, infected, and whatnot. And so I'm still seeing um, individuals needing resources when they're in their 80s and 90s or 70s. I'm still seeing that they have to call around for assistance, respite care. If you don't have long term care insurance or there's
Mhm.
not a benefit on the life insurance policy, that means that someone's life is going to be uprooted. And that's when you really need to look again to see if there's a critical illness benefit right on there. Someone's having a stroke, a heart attack, life threatening cancer or disease. If they have a critical illness benefit rider on there, or they buy their own separate critical illness benefit plan, they'll have a lump sum cash to use towards that. And guess
Right.
what? That keeps people from going into their savings,
Mhm.
mortgaging, getting a second mortgage on their home. That's
Yeah.
keep people from eating up the wealth that needs to be used later.
So can people wait? Is that something that needs to be in place before you have some kind of serious diagnosis,
Yes.
or, can it be added?
Okay. All benefits must be bought in advance.
Mhm.
Disability income insurance may be a rider on a policy, a life insurance
Mhm.
policy, or you may purchase your own separate disability insurance. And by
Mm.
the way, you business owners, you can acquire a business overhead expense insurance policy. With the business
Mm.
overhead expense insurance policy, that's going to be used to operate the business and pay for the um, employee salary, operation of the business, lights still have to be paid for, okay? And
Yeah.
then you have your own separate insurance policy. So yeah, lights can be paid at your home because no one wants to be living in the office, okay?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
looking at those riders, you must get it beforehand because we in America, we're the people, United States of America, okay? So you can't just run up to the disability office, okay?
Okay.
The disability office, okay? For those who need disability. And remember, people talk so bad about welfare, but disability income, Social Security, Medicare, all that falls up under our Welfare Act, okay?
It
So
does.
so
It
you go to those
does.
departments of disability, okay? And they're going to ask you all these questions. You have to prove you have a disability. You can't just have a letter from the doctor. And then by the time you get the disability, the house is foreclosed and you're gone, you
Yeah.
live somewhere else. But if
And
you have
you're
your
in
own
worse shape because you don't
right,
have the disability to help you pay for things.
right. So own disability insurance, and it falls under those categories that make someone disabled, or your own critical illness plan. There's a cancer expense plan that could a rider on the policy where people want to travel to get their healing. They can use that money to help the companion that's traveling with them so they can stay in the hotel and not in your bedroom. and whatnot,
Okay.
because many people should know you don't rest at the hospital. All them beep, beep, beep,
Oh my
beep, beep,
gosh.
all that's going on. We
Yes.
can check the temperature, time for a shot. Yeah, here, take this pill, okay?
Every 30 minutes.
And in the meanwhile, your companion, loved one, could at least go get some decent rest, because
Mhm.
caregivers are dying before the people they're caring for. Okay, so
Mm.
it just has to be this balance. Okay, so we're not
Yes.
balancing it out. We're not taking care of our individual health. We're gonna have a problem. I was a semi caregiver, and once in a while, I told you my mother was murdered. My brother had PTSD because he was there to experience it, getting nicked in the hand at 7 years old with a bullet, and someone falling down in front of you, dying to shield you, will have some effect on your body. Okay,
Wow.
so sometimes he would end up in my care. Okay, and
Mhm.
we'll leave it at that. And then my father, he died in his late 70s, and I was just ready to bring him from New York City to North Carolina. I was working on my doctorate, but I had been exercising, walking the trails and all that. And the next thing you know, bam, 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 my brother and father died 60 days apart.
Mm.
And so, and
Wow.
I'm talking 2018, not a long time ago. Okay.
Oh wow.
So if I was not taking care of my health, if I was not looking into these issues and resources, if I was not the insurance agent and financial consultant, I would have been a little bit more devastating. I thank God
Yeah.
I look all right now. I'm wearing my grateful respect. But anyway,
It looks good too.
thank you. So anyway, the statistics is out there that
Mhm.
when someone passes away, 40% of those families, of those who've lost someone, a loved one, are suffering because they don't have enough finance.
Mm.
They don't have
Wow.
enough to fund and keep that mortgage going, the car going, private school.
Mhm.
So go back to lifestyle. What
Yes.
lifestyle do you want your loved ones to continue? Okay, because
Mhm.
there are many ideals, many inventions that have not been made yet. Okay,
Mm.
we've seen how Facebook have advanced, Instagram. Okay, we've seen the microwave. Okay, we've seen shoes and new computer gadgets. All of that is from someone's mind
Right.
set. But how are they going to be able to develop all that if they're full of grief, okay,
Mhm.
depressed and distressed, busted and disgusted?
Yeah.
Handle that. Then they done ran the mouth of someone else. Someone ran off with the idea, but they don't have any money to fight it. Okay,
Right. They can't take anybody to court or anything.
right. And forget about those the pro bono attorneys. They're good, but they're overloaded too. And guess what? They have
Mhm.
to eat too,
Right.
because we didn't get our doctorate and all that for free. We did get some stuff based off of trying to make it work by being smart. And
Yes.
so we have to think about, ooh, if I don't take care of my loved ones now,
Mm.
if they're not taken care of when I'm gone, who's going to do it?
Right.
Who's going to do it? We have to transfer the knowledge we have to next generation. We have to transfer money, and we have to tell them how they're going to use. They should use that money. And guess what? If you don't get it transferred and you spend it on this end, they'll know how to get money.
Mhm.
How many families have children who knows how to get money?
Right.
The baby boomer generation. I want Johnny and Jill to have what I didn't have. So they don't let Johnny and Jill have any hard experiences,
Mhm.
because they painted the wrong picture of the world. So
Mhm.
those baby boomers, make sure you have enough insurance. Okay, put it
Okay.
in a trust, so Johnny
Yes.
Jill won't spend it all on bubblegum in one day. Okay.
There we go.
So
Yeah,
there
let's
we
talk
go
to that.
there. So legacy planning involves
Mm.
money, Okay. Ecclesiastes said money is the answer to all things.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone know that scripture, whether you
Yes.
believe, read the Bible or not. Okay. We watch it. We watch what? Rappers and
Mm-hmm.
TV shows and those reality TV shows people think are really reality. So now everyone wants the bling bling and all that. I gotta have it now. But we have to let people know that, hey, we have to plan some things for the future.
Mm.
And I don't plan to leave at 100. Okay. So if I got a life insurance policy and they got a critical illness and a cancer expense policy on there, disability insurance rider, or if I have those separate policies, I know that I won't have to always dig into my savings that I may need later to keep the lifestyle I want.
Yeah.
So lifestyle, it goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
It does. So aside from, inaction, what are some of the barriers that people have from your perspective to getting insurance policies and making sure that they have everything in them that they're going to need?
Okay. So one barrier is people are waiting too late. You have insurance at the job. If you haven't gone back to your human resource or your benefits coordinator, you need to go back to them to see, well, hey, if you plan on leaving, don't say, I'm going to leave. Okay. What if something happens to the company? Will I be able to take this life insurance policy with me and continue to pay it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People work for 30 or 40 years. Okay. Then they find out the life insurance decrease. They got a $5,000, $10,000 life insurance policy. Life is still going on. They're still making bills. Okay. When people retire, they don't stop making bills. They want to travel and buy Susie and Steven. They want to buy them some gifts. When I retired, I'm going to do this and that. I'm the type of person, you better LIVE now. But when you retire, you can do more than just sleeping and watching soap operas and drinking lemonade. You have to stay active, right? That's it. We want to stay active. So one barrier is age. Waiting so long that, hey, for a $10,000 or $15,000 whole life, you might have to pay $100 or so, because the next thing is health. Some people are less healthier. They're not as healthy as they were earlier. Right. Some people
insurance is more expensive the older you are when you get the policy, correct?
Yes. So age and health, that's what they're looking at. If you're on 4 or 5 medications,
Right.
People end up with cancer, they're not expecting that. And it's hard, but I know how to find a policy for everyone. But the more health challenges means the more the premium will cost. And premiums is the cost of having the insurance. Okay.
Right.
And so the next barrier would be money, because the individual's way too late. I don't want to pay that much. So you start early. You pay a little now, so you won't have to pay a lot later.
There you go.
And so that's when you decide if you want to just have a term insurance, pay off the mortgage, then get a whole life or a permanent policy insurance, which can be a universal life, index universal life. We can always talk about that at another time. But those permanent insurance policies, they tend to last 100 or 120 years, where if someone just has a term insurance, it could be 10, 20, 30 years. And then at the end of that term period, it's like paying rent.
You're starting all over.
The premium's going to go up,
right? The premium's going up.
The premiums are going up, just like the rent goes up. Okay, mortgage tends not to go up. Okay,
right.
Let someone have one of those balloon loans, and that's another topic for the housing crisis. But your rent is going to go up, or you just end it and move somewhere else. The term insurance premium may go up 10, 20, 30 years. It may double, quadruple. bought more than that? Are you prepared for that? That's why some people go ahead and make sure they had the backup whole life policy instead of just depending on a policy from a job or just having term insurance. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you want $1 million, $2 million policy, maybe that's affordable in the term category, or split it up where you have another policy that's going to outlast you,
Right.
outlast us. Okay. They
Yes.
they projecting what it's going to be like, how long you're going to live, and then your health. Okay. Affordability, credit, credit. If someone's filed bankruptcy, it may take um it just may take a couple of years before they can get an insurance policy.
Mhm.
Or are they going to be able to pay the increase in premium? If someone loves to smoke the other stuff and regular cigarettes, they may have to pay more.
Mhm.
So then you're going at cost and risk factors. If someone's
Right.
a pilot, race car driver, okay, those can be some barriers because you have to pay more. They're looking at the risk factor. If someone, as they would say, is a gangbanger or something like that, they look or been incarcerated, okay.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about just incarceration for drugs. White collar crime is out there, okay.
Mhm.
Remember, Enron ran away with their employees' pension for your
Mhm.
those of you who are younger. Enron interfered with their employees' pension. Enron and a couple of other companies. Yeah, they mess with their
Mhm.
employees' pension. And the next thing you know, you got the pension benefit act that's only going to cover around 100,000. Okay, but anyway,
Mm.
they ran off with that, so they're in prison too. You remember Bernie Madoff? Okay, so
Yep.
so when we talk crime, we ain't talking about just bank robbery. We talking
No.
about all types of crime, and that would affect the premium as well.
Mm. Very true. Very true. And good
Credit report,
information.
all that. They're looking at all of that to see um the reasons and the needs for the insurance.
Okay.
Changing beneficiaries are very important. If you've
Mhm.
had a job, a relationship has ended, or someone's passed away, or someone's gotten divorced, you want to change those beneficiaries. Because for pension and insurance, the judge is going by the name of the beneficiary on the policy. Okay.
So we
Yeah.
need to keep those updated, which is why you said to check your policy every now and then. About how often would you say you need to go back and look at your policy?
Anytime there's a change in life, okay, you adopt a child, have a new baby,
Mm.
and then the raise the grandchildren because the moms are deceased, okay. Um, Children has gotten old enough to be on the policies, and so it might be good to check annually. Okay,
Okay.
some people are overinsured, and eating peanut butter and jelly, so you want to make sure. Yeah, just a few people.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you're not overly insured and you just can't afford it. Okay. You just want to make sure you really make sure that individual you insurance agents are suitable. Okay. You
Mhm.
love mission, but we still are socially responsible to make sure we're taking care of our customers. And then we're socially responsible to make sure we're taking care of our loved ones. So
Yes.
be a parent,
Mm.
be a child, be a sister, be a brother. Uh,
Yeah.
if you owe people some money, how about putting their name on the policy? Because if they don't get it while you're living, maybe they can get it later. think, think of love, LOVIE. Life insurance says love and legacy.
There you
Use it while
go.
you're living. Use it while you're gone. Okay, just
Mhm.
make those payments.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is really good information and some really good points that you brought up, about thinking of others. And I think it's a little irresponsible to not have something in there for those who may be taking care of you later when you need that help. And they are, basically breaking their necks to do everything and figure things
Mhm.
out because there was no plan laid out, no discussions had, nothing of the sort. So they know what you want done for yourself. So,
After discussion, my daddy said he wanted to be resuscitated. He's like, "Why you need to talk to me?" I'm not saying it's gonna be easy to talk to them,
yeah.
okay? But I said, "Daddy, I really need to know if you want to be resuscitated." He's like, "Yeah, because they're gonna have a cure." Okay. So my daddy did believe in the medical system
Okay.
and tried some different things, but he said, "Yes, I'll
Mhm.
be resuscitated." When
Okay.
having that last heart attack, they asked me the question before, if another one comes in, and I'm crying, who got this headache? Oh, I gotta get to see my daddy. I need a flight out. I'm like, yes, resuscitate him. Because he said you'll find a cure. Okay.
Mhm.
So it, it,
Yeah.
it, we don't want our loved ones living in pain, but we have
Mhm.
to ask the question. We have to ask the question. We have to ask the hard questions.
This is true. This is true. Wow. Well, Dr. Jonica, you have given us so much information, and we didn't even get to the whole life. But that is something that can you give us a Cliff's Notes version this time, because we are going to come back to that in another discussion. I would like to have you back if you'll
Oh,
come
thank you.
back.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back. So
Okay, good.
Cliff Note version, I know you some people know about no Cliff Notes because you did not read that book when you were in college. You took
Uh,
all the shortcuts you could take, right? Cliff Note version is whole life, and then there are other permanent life insurance policies. So, but in regards to whole life, you know every year what your fixed amount of cash value is going to be. So cash values are built within the policy. They can still have those riders, terminal illness, critical illness, cancer expense, but the
Mm,
cash value is built in the policy. And so if you have a large enough policy, and you start at the right time, you can use that cash value to send Johnny and Jill to college. Okay.
okay.
Or use it for when life happens. Okay. And you get to borrow from yourself. When you haven't had it long enough, you will borrow from yourself, pay some interest on it, but it sure be less than some of those credit card interests. Okay.
There you go.
And less lower than the tax bracket. Okay, it won't put you in another tax bracket if you borrow from yourself. So you always want to make sure you're voting and put yourself in a position to let your legislator know don't be taxing my insurance. Okay, so this
Mhm.
tax money that you can use to handle emergencies, the
There you
market
go.
that use some of that to supplement your retirement. It is legally okay to do that. Okay. And you can have an increase in face amount. When the cash value goes up, the amount of the insurance goes up. Okay.
Mhm.
Whatever you borrow from yourself, the amount of insurance will go down. Okay. In the event someone travels, move a lot, switch accounts a lot, um, if they check the box, that cash value can continue the insurance policy. You don't have to be as concerned about, oh, I got 30 days to pay for my insurance. I paid my insurance all these years and I just lost it. That may happen with a term insurance because I didn't switch my checking account. Okay.
Mhm.
That's another thing. You might want to start paying some stuff annually if it's just a little bit of money. But
There you
anyway,
go.
getting back to the whole life, you get to use that cash value. The policy is not going to be a 10, 20, 30-year policy like a term insurance. That
Mhm.
policy will go on until age 100 and 120 years old. And you will look at ways that you could use that money at age 65, 70. Got to give it time to accumulate. For instance, someone sold someone a policy, their child was 10, no, yeah, 15. And they said, you can use this money when they go to college. How in the world are you going to accumulate enough money from the child age 15 to 18, okay,
Right.
off $10 a month to have enough accumulation to go to college? It doesn't work that way. So you
No.
look at affordability and in the future, Okay, because again, we're talking about love. We're talking about living a long time, right? Okay.
Exactly.
We have a lifestyle to live, all right, or the lifestyle
Yeah.
we want to live. And life change. No one works for the same job every 30, 40 years or so. We've been married over 30 years. And
Okay.
hey,
Congratulations.
thank you. I don't want you to y'all figure out how long we've been married, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, but it's been over 30 years. You gotta watch out for identity theft. That's another barrier.
Yes.
Beneficiaries under the table and no one knows about it, but they did
Mhm.
forgery. So watch how you're giving your information out. I used to do
Mm.
corporate security, so I'll be quiet there. But anyways, you want to make sure you're focusing on the future. Now, in some
Yes.
cases, term insurance policies can be converted to a whole life insurance policy. I got one I have to convert now and make sure I do it. Okay, we convert them, and it's not going to have as much accumulation because you're converting it at a later age, but it can be
Right.
done so that it can go a little further. Okay,
Hmm.
and so just don't depend on the jobs. And
There
you
we
business
go.
owners, don't just say one day I'm going to retire from my business and leave that money. What if the business doesn't go and you don't have anything to leave? You got life insurance to leave. We had 9
Mm.
job layoffs and we're grateful we had no foreclosure. Okay.
Mm. And that was you and your husband both
Yes.
being laid
Yes.
off.
Between
Yeah.
us, we have around 9 job losses. It could be more, but who's counting? But
Oh
anyway,
gosh.
you know, he should have been the insurance agent because he made sure we had life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plans out there now where you can just have burial and burial insurance where it's going to handle the funeral and all that. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
all into everyone's business. So therefore I had to make sure I did that research and have enough where I can help everyone who comes to me.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much for your information and your insight, as well as those experiences that have taught you a lot just from your own personal life that you have been able to share with us. So, thank you so much. Please let everybody know where they can find you, where they could book a consultation or look at your social media pages.
Okay, well, my business Instagram is at Jonica Rowland, not Rowland, ROWLAND.
Okay.
Com. I'm not .com, underscore MBA. So you just put in doctor, DRJONICA and you'll find it on Instagram and then my business Facebook page, Dr. Jonica. All right. You have
All
to
right.
you have to really be nice to get on my personal pages.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and then LinkedIn is Dr. Jonica. Okay.
Okay.
You can email me at Jonica@JonicaRowland.com. Text me 919-539-249. My voicemail will say Dr. JT Rowland because I'm keeping an eye on identity theft.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And so from there, I'm just grateful to be able to help individuals get what they need. I had so many questions about credit, so I'm a
Mhm.
board certified credit repair consultant. Okay.
Awesome.
And so from there, we just have the tools to help you. So 919-539-2492 is my number. Text.
Okay.
All right, I'll send you my calendar. We'll get that appointment scheduled, or you can find me on social media or anywhere you need to. That's legal.
Yes, yes. Okay, and then they
Totally
can go,
legal.
oh,
Totally
yeah, it gotta be
legal.
legal now. So we can go to jonicarowland.com to see your website and book a consultation and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah, there's a calendar on there as well. I
Okay.
keep that updated. So I do have JonicaRowland.com for the community. If you need more financial information, education, that is Dr. DrJonicaRowland.com.
Okay, doctor. I left that doctor part out. And that's
No,
very important.
it's two websites. You can have either one.
Oh, okay. There we go. We got them all. They're going to hit you up all over the place.
Yeah, that's one more tip for y'all. Buy your domain names.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Do
So
that.
when you where you want to be or where you're going, you don't have to buy your name from someone else because someone done bought the domain name.
Good tip.
That's
All right. Well,
we
thank
won't
you.
hurt you by giving you all of it.
Okay, you can't handle it. You
That's
can't
right.
handle
all of it.
all of it.
That's all right.
It's too much.
Danielle's show, so I'm going to be quiet. You got to live a little. Love a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are going to have Dr. Jonica back. Thank you all for watching. Send her your questions and your invitations to be on your shows because she is a hoot and she has much to share and a lot of wisdom. So I definitely appreciate you being here, Dr. Jonica. You guys tune in for the next Ultimate Creative Chat in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Oh, more than welcome.
Get in touch with us today to find out how you can advertise your products and services.